I guess what I want to end with is, on a positive note, is that the hope is that in a tough time, tough economic times, I mean, that the one thing we might do is use it to think about values. One of the, I guess, arguably one of the problems of the last period nationally is that we have funneled many of our most innovative and creative thinkers into the wrong thing, dare I say. So as young people have, as the game is a little different, as the opportunities are a little different, I guess my hope would be that we rethink some of our values, and so that the brightest young people want to go into education. That can help individually, but it can also help our society as a whole.
And it's not accidental that we have fallen behind on at least some metrics, our colleagues from around the world. But I don't think it's too late in the game to both catch up, but also to, if not to catch up, to certainly be equivalent, because I think we are in many cases. So if I were to provide any simple suggestion, it would be that conversations like this, I think, are useful. And let me finish with an idea I think is very important, is that conversations like this are almost like incubators to me, is how do we incubate best evidence-based practice that drives forward something important. And the challenge, I think, about being in an incubated discussion is how do you transform identified best practices to become common or more prevalent practices? And I would say that would be what we need to do. We need to continue to incubate, but then we need to spread.
I think that, certainly when I started SLAM, and I still believe this is the question that artists that aren't 20 but are 50, 60 ask, what's my civic duty for promulgating this? But before that, I asked, what's the relevance of what I've made to the everyday person wandering by, and how do I test out that theory on a small scale way? And I think that the notion, the idea that that if people could really, have a personal experience with art that's not on the stage, and could get electrified by that, which I think I'm seeing at SLAM, which is one of the reasons I want you to all come and bring your friends. And I don't really have a nugget sentence about it. Could change the way art occurs and gets exchanged in the United States. And I actually think that from the ground up, people's hearts will shift on the value of culture. And I think they'd be better listeners. I think there's all these things that exude out of that experience. And I think that it's not something that filters through the mind. It's something that skips the brain and goes right to the gut. And so my job in this situation is to figure out how to, scatter this idea all across the United States. And I have a few more decades, maybe, to put that in practice.
I think it's going to be important, getting back to the negative feedback idea, to paint a picture of our future and what it is that we're hurtling toward, because I don't think people really understand it, and I don't think we do a good job in our society of saying we're maybe not as good or not as strong as somebody else, and we need to have that honest conversation. So we need to paint that picture of the future. I think, ironically, arts has a large role to play, so the creative arts do, in writing, in movies, in dance, in theater, at letting us sort of see what a dystopian future might look like, and then how it is that we change dystopian to utopian, perhaps, through our own actions. And so I think the arts and the media are going to be very important in providing feedback to the to the large popular culture, or through culture to the population in a way that they can digest it.